going to learn about decimals. What are decimals? Decimals are numbers that have got the whole number as well as the fraction number. And these numbers are actually separated by a decimal point. Now, remember, decimals are also called fractions, and fractions are also called decimals. Now, let's look at the definition and what we mean by decimals. Decimal numbers. Decimal. Now, what are decimal numbers? Decimal numbers are numbers that have a whole number and fraction. Number. Now, these must be separated by a decimal point. Decimal numbers are numbers that have a whole number and fraction number separated by a decimal point. Now, how does this number look like? This number looks like this. You may have figures, for example, 32.7846. For example, this is A, and B, 0.732. Now, you may have figures that are looking like this or this. Remember that 0 is also part of a whole number, like we learned before. We said any number that starts from 0, 1, 2, and going up, 100, 1,000, 2,800, going on and on and on and on and on. These numbers, they are in a category of whole numbers. So 0 is also part of a whole number. Now, when you look at the figure here, you find that there are a lot of parts. Probably these figures, they are represented by figures of numbers. Like, for example, we have 3, 2, 7, 8, 4, and 6. Now, besides the numbers, we have what we call a decimal point. For example, I will put this way. Here you have what we call a whole number, decimal decimal point, some refers to it as a dot, separated by a dot. And then here we have what we call fraction part or fractional part. Fractional part. So a number will look like this, having the decimal point, which is a dot, as well as these other figures. Now, these numbers are called decimal numbers. Now, apart from looking at these three, because obviously I was explaining the whole number, the fraction, how it looks, and also the decimal point. You can't write numbers like 0, you can't write anything like 0.752 and then you call it decimal. Please remember, this is also a significant number in this regard. Now, apart from this, quickly let's look at place values, because place values, they are very, very important in the aspect of learning about the decimal numbers. Place value. Please follow me nicely so that you do not make mistakes as you come to the calculations. Place values. For example, you may have figure, example, of place value is where you have a figure like, let's say A, you have 3, 7, 8, and 9 together with a point in between. Let me add some other figures, 9, 0, 2. You may have a number like this one. Now, how do you place these in your place value? You are going to have something drawn in a quick way like this. This is your diagram. You quickly draw this diagram on a separate paper if you want, or like me, I like children to make sure that whatever the calculations they are making inside the book. So let's make this diagram. We make the diagram and then we put figures in it. Probably we may have 3, we may have also 7. A decimal point should also occur in there. You also have 8, you also have 9, you also have these other figures like 2 as well as 0 there. And then when you have something like this, please don't worry, I can still extend up to there. So when you have figures like this, remember like where we used to write whole numbers. Here is 3, 7. We used to put this is 1 and this is 10. The same routine that we are going to apply to this other part coming this side. Same route that we are going to apply, we are going to say this is ones. Others, they put even the S down there, but anyway, it's not necessary. Everyone knows we also have 10. This is grade 1 where when you have 10s, there is also, let me say you've added some other numbers coming this way. You follow the same system. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, as well as 10,000, going on and on and on. This part. Since we do only have these two numbers, we are going to just ascertain our numbers up to the tens. Now, this is a decimal or dot. I don't know. You put whatever you want. You can either leave it or just put it just like that. But when we have numbers going this side, we only recall or remember figures starting from here. We only start on the 10. 10, please don't make mistakes there. 10. Now this 10 going after the point they are going this side. This one is called a 10th. A 10th. 10th going this side. Numbers going on and on and on, you are going to have hundredths. 100. Also, thousand. Thousands. Also, 10,000. 10,000. Always there is a TH down there in small letters there. That TH represents th. So whatever you make, it has to come to th, tenths, hundredths, 10,000. As you continue from here. The same way you are going this side, but only add the th, that other side. Please don't make mistakes. We do ask questions on this, and we do not forget, because we know if you've gone through this kind of learning, you have learned that fact to say these are how they appear in place values. Place value. Also, decimals have got what we call place value notation in the way they appear. Quickly, let's leave this part and go to addition of decimals. This is where the tricky part is, but don't worry, we are going to sort out this problem together as we go on. Addition. Of decimals. Addition of decimals is amongst what we call, it's amongst the system which we call the 4 operation. So even these numbers, they also have what we call the 4 operations, which is addition, subtraction, division, and also multiplication. We need to start with, first, we need to know how to add decimals. We need to know how to add decimals. Now, decimals also have got the system or the rule in which it has to obey. Everyone should follow this rule. Now, I'm not going to show you right now this rule because I want you to see where it applies. Now, when you look at the addition of decimals, you are going to understand to say, for example, decimals, we are going to be given an example of a question. Example, probably example number 1. Example number 1, we are going to be given, I want you to see where the rule in the addition of decimals. We are given probably solve the following. Solve the following. They will give us 2. Probably this one should be 0.7. An example B is going to be 0.3, okay, 10, or 0.346 plus 7.2, okay, 7.2. And then after there, 0.7 plus 0.007. I'll deliberately get these two as the examples. I'll give you these two as examples. Example A, example B. Now, example A, you are going to find that in your calculation, there is a certain rule, the rule that you apply. Everyone should obey. And the best way is for you to obey now. And do not regret later. Do not regret later. Now, when you look at this one, always remember, like I always tell my student, when you are offering the solution, don't start calculating just there. No, write your own calculation here, like where you have to put solution so that even someone who is marking is following the system. When you start calculating just from here, I remember one time someone started just calculating and made a wrong, or discovered that every calculations that was going on were wrong. So what happened was that person failed to figure out because these numbers were disturbed. So do not disturb the question. Hence, come down here. Come down here, write your figure. We are going to start either here or here, but I prefer this part. 0, I've left the space here deliberately, 0.7. These are 4 digits. These are 2 digits. 2 digits against 4 digits. So here we are going to write again 0.007. Someone would wonder, oh, sorry, someone would wonder, why have I not written in anywhere? Yes, others who have, please don't forget the sign, others who have their own separate way on how they can handle this, have written this one. This one is 4 digits, this one is 2 digits, this one is 2 digits, this one is 4 digits. The rule I'm obeying, the rule I'm following right here is that my decimal point should be in a straight line. So even my answer is going to be here in a straight line. Like for instance, please, I'm using my ruler here so that my lines and my work may look neat. Equally, you need to do the same. Don't use freehand. No, this is not advisable. Use a ruler or any alternatives that you may have in order to make good lines here. Now, when you come up with this, these decimals are in a straight line. They are in a straight line. So here the rule will tell you to say decimal points, decimal point should, okay, let me use the emphasis word here. Must, decimal point must be in a straight line. If you want line down, going down, this must be in a straight line. I'm sure these are, at least my imagination is telling me to say it's in a straight line. Straight line, this is the rule. Decimals obey in addition and also subtraction, they obey this rule. Now, what comes here is, now when you've written like this, for the first one, you can put zeros here as what we call placeholders. These are called placeholders, 0 and 0. They are not appearing there because they are irrelevant. They are not needed anyway. But I've added them because I want to make sure that my calculations are actually precise. Zeros to fill up. Here there are 4 and I want to make this other part to be 4. So zeros are added there. Now, any zero that is appearing after the decimal point is irrelevant before the number. This is a number, and these, we'll talk more on the significant figures. Now, here, these zeros, they are irrelevant. These zeros, they are not important. These zeros are important. On significant figures, we are going to understand better on this one. Now, why have I added this? Because these are holding just the position. We call them the placeholders. So placeholders do not change any value in terms of the calculations. Look here. When you are calculating 0 plus 7, it will still remain 7. So there is nothing that has been changed there. There is nothing that has been changed, still remains 7. Even when we come here, 0 plus 0 is still going to remain 0. Clever. Clever boy. Clever girl. Yes, when you do like this, then you are a clever girl or clever boy. Yes. Here, after calculating the 0 here, you are also going to come to this part. 7 plus 0 is going to be 7. I may guess to say even this 0 here and these zeros here are also called placeholders. They are placeholders. Place values are 7 and 7 there. So, same applies to this. 0 plus 0 is going to be 0. The answer is like this, and it's correct. The moment you just do this, it's fine. Now, let's quickly do this. Obviously, you are also doing your work there. Always remember, you write solution, because this is where you are going to put your data. Solution. You have figures like 1, 0, 0.3, 4, 6, and then you want to add. You are going to add this one. We said the rule it obeys is following the decimals going in a straight line. So your 7 here, your 7 is going to begin from here. Please don't start from here. Then you are putting something else. It's not mathematics. You are putting something else. So when you put your 7 there, because it's the ones there. The 7 is the ones, followed by a decimal, as well as we go to 2. If you want, you can put the placeholders. The placeholders, which are 0, that will not add any value there. When you do like that, please get your ruler and do the same. You know, I'm doing 2 lines in between here so that you understand to say I'm ending here. Unless if you are given another figure to add on. Please, even when you are given 15 figures to add on and have got the decimals, understand which one is a whole number and which one is a decimal number or the fraction number, and which one is also the whole number. Understand those and put the decimal as many as they are in a straight line. So here is my straight line. I'll also put my decimal here in a straight line. Meaning here I've got 3 figures and 2 figures here. 3 figures and 2 figures here. With placeholders and also placeholders here. Here it's going to be 6 plus 0 is equal to 6, because this one is just holding the position. 4 plus 0 is still 4. The values now, 3 plus 2 is going to change to 5. Wonderful. 0 plus 7 is going to be 7. 1 plus 0 is going to be 1, still 1. Nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. There, your answer is correct. As simple as that. In mathematics, we obey rules, we follow rules, and the rule that is there should be followed as what we've said here or explained here, to say decimals or decimal points must be in a straight line. So the straight line here, the straight line here. So it's just as simple as that. So when you do with that, what remains? Getting questions correct.